Few games start with such a daunting message. This game contains depictions of racism, suicide, violence towards women and children, animal cruelty, forced labor, and xenophobia, which may be difficult to handle for some. This game dares tread where few have so directly gone before. Slated as an interactive narrative game by new developer Monakel, just how does this debut title for the studio hold up as it tackles such immensely heavy and important themes? Well, let's find out in our review of White Shadows. You begin your journey as a Raven Girl, an odd-looking human-animal hybrid. You inhabit a world dominated by the allies of the ruling class wolfmen, who have turned the worker class pigmen against the plague birds. It is all quite Orwellian in nature, bringing a very Animal Farm vibe to things. During your 2-hour adventure, you'll engage in light puzzle solving, occasionally clunky platforming, and quite often attempts at disturbing you that mostly fell flat for me. The game has a striking gray-tone look, and though controls never shift from a 2D plane, the camera is used to great effect to highlight the utter misery this world that is forever bathed in darkness forces its inhabitants to endure. You'll find out why light is a life and what these bright glow batteries are all about as you run to the right, and occasionally change things up and run to the left. The game goes for a limbo or inside vibe, and the art direction is an excellent mix of haunting and unsettling. As this is such a short title, I won't go too deep into the story, but on the whole, I did find the opening title warning didn't end up matching how things hit overall for me. I am a lover of history, and the majority of the themes in this title are sadly not that shocking compared to the real horrors inflicted upon people every moment of every day throughout pretty much all of recorded history. This feels like a title that would wake up a 14-year-old to just how rough the world is and has always been, and maybe that was their intended audience. Narrative issues aside, my main problem with the game are the controls. They're not terrible, but they are extremely limited in a way that led to me feeling like the game was far longer than the 90 or so minutes it took me to beat it. You can run to the left or right, you can jump with A, and you can grab or use things with the X button, and that is it, until there are a few later sections that lightly change things up. It is truly that interactive narrative as the developers claimed, and if the narrative had grabbed me harder, it would have been good enough. Audio-wise, the game is constantly grating, but I imagine that was the intent, to make the player feel unease, which it certainly did. Unfortunately, I also started to get a legitimate headache during certain sections and ended up lowering my volume in my headset to barely a whisper until the high-pitched cacophony finally ended. The soundtrack are mostly beautiful renditions of classical tunes, and it works really well with the tone of everything. I did run into a few bugs where the scripted events did not occur when they were supposed to, and I got stuck. Thankfully, though, the game has a rather robust checkpoint system that allows you to hop into any major point of each chapter. Performance, though, on my Series X was absolutely atrocious. The frame rate drops were constant and severe, which was baffling as this is not a game that should be taxing for the system at all. Hopefully, they can fix up the performance with post-release patches because, as of launch, it struggles mightily to keep a solid frame rate. In conclusion, White Shadows is $20 US at the time of launch, and if its style and themes speak to you, it's probably worth a purchase. The platforming's mediocre, the performance is terrible, but there is heart and talent here. If you know someone in their teens and you hope to show them the dangers of abuse and racism and xenophobia, this game could potentially be a solid learning tool to help them down a better path. I do really look forward to what Monakel has in store for us with their next title, as there is clear talent on the team, and they are not afraid to tackle some very delicate topics. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe if you can. They're the best way to help our channel grow. We'll see you here next time on Xbox Era.